No, he keeps every play alive with his feet, certainly. They're doing a lot of good stuff on offense. You see the reason why he was a dynamic player in college. Outstanding athlete, can throw the ball extremely well, and when things break down or he's got a chance to move around, he does that probably as well as anybody.
Giants coach Pat Shurmur with some high praise for #1 overall pick Kyler Murray, who leads his Cardinals against the Giants. 6th overall pick Daniel Jones will be waiting as both rookie quarterbacks look to get their 3rd win of the season. Marcus Spears back here with us. But Max, I'm starting with you. Who would you rather have as your franchise guy?
I'm rolling with my guy, Molly. Come on.
Yeah?
We finally got a quarterback. Been waiting for Eli's successor, and here he is. Kyler Murray's very talented. I'll leave it to you guys to talk about Kyler Murray. He's electric in a lot of ways. What's exactly the weakness with Daniel Jones as a quarterback prospect now that you've seen him play in the pros?
Just some mistakes, bad throws.
Of course.
Yeah.
Good. Like, I want a quarterback not afraid, The #1 weakness with Daniel Jones is he fumbles the ball. That's a correctable mistake, I'm not even talking about turnovers. I'm not worried about his turnovers. I'm talking about, like, he's holding the ball and now he's not holding the ball. We've seen that corrected in the past. I'm assuming that, like, of all the problems you can have as a quarterback, great, have that one. Daniel Jones has the height. He's got the arm. But besides that, like, there are guys with stronger arms, but he can make all the throws, but he's got arm talent. Sometimes you see a quarterback can throw laser beams, but it's not catch-friendly, Daniel Jones, the fact that they call him Danny Dimes is exactly right. He drops it right into their hands. Little feathery touch going down the side. And by the way, he has that thing where he can do it, and he can throw it the back shoulder, like only the offense is going to be able to make a play on that ball. Like, I love that. That's not even the most important thing. He reads defenses. He's smart. He processes information quickly. You can see it. He's even got the height. And between a quarterback, like, if you're saying 2 quarterbacks, and it's a little unfair to Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray can really sling it. He did it in college. He can really sling it. But if you're saying like a quarterback who can really play from the pocket and he can also move versus a quarterback who, when you think of him moving first, but also he can play in the pocket, I like the first guy better. And that's Daniel Jones. I admit some bias. He's a Giant. But from what I've seen so far, and guys, he's doing it with no offensive weapons right now. He's got no receivers, no tight ends, no running backs, no backup running back, nothing. And he's still looking like you go, that's a quarterback. I know I'm comparing him to Eli, so it's pretty easy to impress me right now from Eli in recent years. But I'll take Daniel Jones.
But what I don't appreciate is the last part, because I wanted to make that argument myself, comparing it to Eli. So
go ahead.
Taking that thunder away from me.
Go ahead,
but I will tell you this, because that's really what we're doing here. He's such a breath of fresh air compared. Think about this. You have a quarterback in New York that can scramble. Simply scramble. We're just going to use that category. Simply that can scramble for the first time in 14 years. For the first time in 14 years, you have a quarterback that can scramble. That's basically what you're saying about Daniel Jones. Now, obviously, he's got some dime pieces that he's dropped, and we know that he can throw the football. He's got size on him. But I'm saying this. If you had said to me, give me the weapons, I could understand anybody picking Daniel Jones because of the height factor and all that stuff, and I would too. But I'm going to go with Kyler Murray right now for this simple reason. 64% of his passes, just 4 interceptions in 6 games, 3 full games this season where he hasn't thrown 1 single interception. Oh, by the way, got a rookie head coach who didn't produce in college, by the way, but somehow he managed to get a head coaching job in the National Football League, all right? The privileged few would say. Here's the reality. Kyler Murray, undersized and all, can fling that football, clearly can move out of the pocket, can move. He's incredibly mobile. And I look at that along with his ability to fling that football, and that's where I got to give him love and respect in that regard. I think that he is a dynamic player. I think that when we look at Daniel Jones, we see a prototypical quarterback that can get it done, and we're impressed and relieved because we no longer have to look at Eli Manning. I think when we look at Kyler Murray, we see a miniature dynamo who's incredibly dynamic and electrifying, both with his arm and with his feet, and we salivate over the possibilities. And if I have lesser talent, to work with, meaning guys injured, guys traded, etc., I'd rather have Kyler Murray. All things being, then it's Daniel Jones. But I'm going to go with Kyler Murray.
No way, no chance I can go with Kyler Murray. And I'm going to tell you
you.
why. Because you project in this business, right? Like, we're having a conversation about both of these guys. And I use this simple formula beyond everybody. And Kyler Murray is playing well. This is not about how Kyler Murray is playing. This is about what I see from Daniel Jones. You know what I see? I see the prototypical type quarterback that has been the mainstay in winning Super Bowls, NFC, AFC championships in Daniel Jones. And I said it about Baker Mayfield. Y'all remember when the whole world went crazy when I said Daniel Jones is better than Baker Mayfield?
Yes.
Right now, if you put both of those guys side by side and you said, give me one of those quarterbacks with this same weapons, who do you feel more comfortable with being in your huddle? It's Daniel Jones, no question. Kyler Murray, to me, is too specific. It's hard for me to say Kyler Murray is going to have success when the athleticism runs out. Same conversation we having with Cam Newton. If Kyler Murray becomes a guy that has to stay in the pocket, what if it's a high ankle sprain? Or what if it's just a sprain like Patrick Mahomes got, and you take away that possibility of athletic ability? I'm going with Daniel Jones. And another reason being is because Jared Goff just played in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady's been in the Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes was in the AFC Championship last year. We saw Aaron Rodgers go win a Super Bowl. Outside of Drew Brees and Russell Wilson, because that's who they like to compare, they're anomalies. Russell Wilson and Drew Brees are anomalies when you start talking about the consistency of quarterbacks of that stature, that ability, go and play for Super Bowls. And if anybody want to argue it, let's go Joe Flacco. Let's go Peyton Manning, who had a noodle
So
arm.
you're talking about height?
I'm talking about height and the ability to play from the pocket.
So reading defenses with the requisite height.
And diming, throwing dimes.
Yeah. And Daniel
Right?
Jones is
So-
also mobile.
Quick question. If we took away, all right, hypothetically, let's say Tom Brady had an ounce of athletic ability.
Yeah.
Right? An ounce. And he was injured. You would still take him before Kyler Murray.
Well, that's Tom Brady.
I'm just saying, Stephen A. Think about that now.
it's Tom
Do you
Brady.
think Daniel Jones is going to be a better quarterback when it's all said and done than Eli was?
Yeah, I do. And it's because he has that athletic dribble.
Well, can we say
I think
this?
he can do the same things Eli did.
Can we be honest, gentlemen, and say this? Eli Manning may end up going to the Hall of Fame.
He should.
Because he's a two-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
We have never associated Eli Manning with the word greatness.
Nope.
Ever.
Nope.
Ever.
Well, until the playoffs.
Ever. We have never, ever said
There
Eli
was a
Manning ain't
window
great.
No,
when he was Mr.
Molly,
Fourth
no,
Quarter.
no,
Everyone
no,
called him Mr.
no.
Fourth Quarter.
Not greatness.
He had the most
Mollywood.
Not
comebacks
greatness.
in the sport.
Mollywood,
I wish
you
I knew
are
the
wrong.
Not greatness,
No,
Molly.
Molly.
Years. Am I not right?
No.
I think Eli, you could say, well, he's a compiler of the numbers. If you're an Iron Man and you never miss a snap, let alone a game.
We respect him.
And you win 2 Super Bowls, and you go to Lambeau
We
and beat
respect
Favre,
him.
and you go to
We
Lambeau and beat
respect him.
Rodgers,
Remember when he
and you
was
beat Tom
plugged?
Brady in the Super Bowl twice,
and
you were
come
great.
back in the fourth quarter like
Can we
Aaron
not- can we
Rodgers
not-
came back in the
No.
fourth quarter
Can we
last
stop
year.
said
having,
great
look, do me a
moments.
favor. Do me one favor, Max. Please do me this favor. And everybody out there about the Giants. Because this is not about knocking Eli Manning.
It's not.
But please mention the defense when you talk about Eli Manning. People have to stop.
17-14 and 21-17 was how they won those Super
Let me
Bowls.
ask you about other
Why?
quarterbacks right
Because
now.
you
We don't
can't.
mention it with Tom Brady, and
Because
he's had
Tom
great
Brady has
defenses.
won with bad defenses.
But he's won with good defenses too.
Eli has never
He's
won
lost
with a
with
bad
good
defense.
defenses.
That's right.
He's never won with a bad defense.
Eli's not Tom Brady, even
So-
though he
so-
outplays him with the chips on
No,
the
no,
chest
hold on,
otherwise.
Marcus. Do you realize that Tom Brady lost the Super Bowl to Philadelphia a couple of years ago, throwing for over 500 yards?
Yep.
He
Do you
lost
realize,
it.
Tell me. Do you realize Eli Manning has never thrown for 300 yards in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he's only won 2.
I just don't. Look, I'm.
Some would argue he shouldn't have.
I'm so delicate with trying to take away what he's accomplished. It's
Who?
to be respected.
Not like
Eli.
I've never won a Super Bowl. That's to be. I think Eli's going to be a Hall of Famer. He should be because of the
I know
moment.
what
But you
we
feel
we
like it's
never.
about
Eli
Strahan and all those
was
guys.
never a top 5
No,
quarterback player.
we
Let me
never
ask
had
you
him in
something
that-
about Daniel Jones and other quarterbacks. You bring up Baker Mayfield. The guy who I thought pretty early on, like, I'd rather have him than this guy right now is Jared Goff, who just got paid $100-something million and got to a Super Bowl. When I watch them, and he's still very young, but if someone said, you want You want Jones or you want Goff? I'd rather have Daniel Jones. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. I'd rather have Daniel Jones as well. Look, we were out on Daniel Jones, and I'm going to tell you, I was one of the voices that was like, I'm not drafting this dude because
Same.
when you at Duke and you don't see success, like if he's that good playing in that conference outside of Clemson, obviously, you would think that he would have these 300, 400-yard games with all of this success. I didn't put into the fact that, first of all, he played for David Cutcliffe, which is a big deal. Right? People are learning what David Cutcliffe is to college football, especially quarterbacks. The second thing is when I saw Daniel Jones play the first time in Tampa, I sat back and I looked at this kid and I said, you know what? He's kind of the prototype of what's been winning in this league for a long time.
One word answer from you. One word.
Okay.
No one else. We have to go to break. Daniel Jones or Dak long term?
Daniel Jones.
Wow. Stephen A's favorite, Jimmy, has yet to lose a game this season. So where does Mr. Smith rank his Niners among the top teams in the league? Stephen's A-list, a special